Here's a nice fun groove using just two chords, E minor 7 and A7. Let's break it down. Now for this example, we're playing a 2-5 in the key of D. E minor 7 is the 2 chord and A7 is going to be the 5 chord. A good starting point is to learn our inversions using 7th chords on the top 4 strings. Here's an example. So I got E minor 7 to A7, E minor 7, A7, E minor 7, A7, and E minor 7 to A7. Now I'm going to start with this E minor 7 chord as my starting point. The only thing I'm doing is bringing that root, 9th fret of the G string, whole step down to that D note, 7th fret of the G string. Now if you pay close attention, you're going to realize that here you have a G major triad, first inversion, but we're playing over E, so it's an E minor 7 chord. The only thing I'm doing is doubling that D note on the 10th fret of the high string. Then the only thing I'm doing is bringing that 10th fret of the high string, the D note, half step down to C sharp. So I have an E minor 6 chord now. And then for A7, I'm going to play these boys in. I got the root, the 5th, the flat 7, and the 3rd. Now again, if you pay close attention, I have a C sharp diminished triad here. That's the 7th chord in the key of D. But my bass is on the 5th chord, in this case A, so I have an A7. Then again, I'm going to play that D note on the high string, but over A. So I'm going to have an A7 sus4. That sus4 is on the melody. Half step down to C sharp, I have an A7 with a 3rd on the melody. The idea is to relate this movement to both chords, right? If I go back to my inversions, I'm going to have this. E minor 7, now the D note is on the B string, half step down, E minor 6, and I can go from A7 sus4, half step down, A7. Here again, E minor 7, now the D note is on the G string, half step down, E minor 6. Then I can go to A7 sus4, half step down, A7. Here is the example that we're using now. E minor 7, the D note is on the melody, high string, half step down, E minor 6, or A7 sus4, half step down, A7. And to finish, E minor 7, that 6 is on the D string, half step down, E minor 6, or A7 sus4, half step down, A7. Now for the second guitar, I'm actually playing a single note line, and I'm going to have some common tones for both chords. Now I'm going to play 2 notes for each chord. For E minor 7, I have that D note, flat 7, 7th fret of the G string, and then a whole step up to the root. That's an E note, 9th fret of the G string. So I have this. And then for A7, I go a half step down to C sharp, right? 6th fret of the G string, and then I'm going to go to that E note. That's the common tone. But this time, E is going to be the 5th of A. So I have this. Now, if I put those ideas together, at the end I have this.